Yeah, I know. And we're live. There we are. And we are live now. Hopefully everybody in the chat room has refreshed their page, telling them now we are live. Welcome to the iFanboy monthly patron hangout 2 in May. Part 2.
Or 3, depending on who you are on the show.
What is that?
You and I just did a hangout last night.
Oh, yeah, I did do a hangout. Yeah, this is my second hangout in a row, not iFanboy hangout, but a lot of iFanboy people were there, and they enjoyed when Connor brought out the electro scale to the Twin Peaks crowd, which did not go over well, by the way.
It went over well with 2 people, and that's all that mattered.
Connor, are you wearing a terry cloth robe?
Me? This is a hoodie.
Oh, it's a hoodie. Is it a terry cloth hoodie?
No, it's
that's something you picked up in France. That seems pretty French.
No, it's Cape Cod. Cape Cod.
Oh, it's Cape Cod. Okay.
We can't see that because your mic is placed directly in front of it, which is not your fault, but it was just humorous.
Yeah. So welcome back. It's May 22nd. Exciting times. Josh, how are you?
I'm more wondering about you. You look a little.
I'm a little haggard.
It's Twin Peaks beard.
What's going on there?
I got a Twin Peaks beard. You might not have noticed. I've been quiet about it, but one of my favorite TV shows is back. So.
And Ron does here tonight.
Ron does a show about it, so Ron had to watch 4 hours of content and do a podcast and do 2 podcasts, one before the shows, one after the shows. Publish said podcast.
Wait, let's also back up. Let's also back up. Before all of that, I had to mainline about 8 episodes of fucking Iron Fist. So
that's
my life since last week has been thumbs up.
We all make choices.
We all make choices. It just, for some reason, I have a real good knack of having it all happen in the same 2-day period, and then at the same time have to go do family stuff and whatever. Yeah, so that's fine.
And then directly after this, Ron and I are recording another podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Literally after this, we're going to record another podcast. So, yeah. So this is a Twin Peaks beard. But needless to say, the moment we stop recording, I am shaving tonight. So I need to get. I'm shaving. I'm stopping drinking. It's just I'm starting over.
Isn't that weird to shave at night? I think it's weird to shave at night.
I only shave at night. This is not. By the way, this discussion is not by our
sponsored by Harry's.
Our recurring sponsor, Harry's. Although we do thank Harry's for their support. But no, I am a firm night shaver.
That's weird.
I've been shaving because what happens is that and actually, honestly, this was a pre-Harry's thing, and I by no means am I trying to plug our sponsor once again. But before
we've done twice now.
Yeah, but before Harry's, I used
no financial restitution,
none whatsoever, none. But I used to use the Gillette Mach 97 blades.
Yeah. And one swipe, all beard gone.
No, I would, and honestly, and I don't know if it's because I don't know, whatever, but this would be all bloody. This would be all bloody. Like,
okay, question.
Yes.
You went like this. Were you shaving in this direction?
No. I was showing you the area that was bloody.
I feel like you're going to be a fast shaver. Like, you're not going to take a lot of time with it. You're not going to be, you're just going to be like,
no.
You're like, I don't know why it feels awful.
No, it's funny because I'm a slow shaver, but I want it gone.
So you go over it.
I go numerous passes, and like I want it as smooth as a baby's butt.
I don't think that's going to happen, my sweet friend. I think this is what the kids showed up for, right?
This is what the fans want, our personal grooming tips. But yeah, no, so I shave at night because my face would be bleeding and I couldn't go to work. And so, so I shave at night so that it's all healed by the next morning.
Is it because you're digging deep in with the blade to get all the hair? Is that why it's bleeding?
No, I do, much to Josh's chagrin now, I go down and then I go up and then I go down again, then I go up again. So,
oh, God. Yeah. And you wonder why you're bleeding after you do it?
I really just want it gone.
Yeah, but did you ever go, it seems like when I do this, this happens. So maybe
I should stop doing that.
Right. Maybe there's another way. So you don't do the shower before. Because you always want to do the shower before.
Yes. So I don't do the shower before, but I do the hot water, you need to, what's the term, Josh? What do you got to do to the face?
Soften?
Yeah, soften it. Soften the blow. But yeah, no, I do.
Pablo Escobar did that for a while, and it caused a big war.
Are you trying to die? No, well, maybe this is a call for help. So I am a firm night shaver, but I am a firm morning showerer. Like I can't start the day without a shower.
Only weirdos shower at night because you wake up and you're all sleepy. You know,
what
like
does sleepiness have to do with it?
You're not fresh. You're not fresh. You've been laying. It
wakes you up,
and whatever. Yeah, but like, you know, you're sweating at night in the summer. You just, you know, I don't understand that at all. Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
that was the symbol on the card.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was
round.
Yeah, it was
drew
round,
it, but that was the symbol.
Let's not talk too much Twin Peaks. So listen.
Okay.
So Twin Peaks happened. Go listen to Damn Fine Podcast to hear me and Connor talk about it. We don't want to bore Josh about it.
I appreciate that.
But before we move on to our first topic, I want to hear when Josh and Connor shave.
In the morning.
You're a morning shaver. Oh, because you get the head in the shower. Got it. Okay, yeah. Josh has a beard. He doesn't shave.
I have to shave like here and like here and here, but I only do that like once a week.
Oh, so you knowingly shave there?
No, it's just you can't see it. There's only like a little bit of stuff, and it gets itchy.
Do you have like a tiny razor?
No, I'm dexterous. No, I tried to let this go out, but you can't see it, so it just irritate my skin, and so I just got rid of it because I actually want that. I don't want that to be gone, and this is too low. I don't like it, but I can't help it. It's on my face.
You know what this is? This is a direct result of last week's super deep dive into comics.
Yes,
now it's just grooming.
It's just the yin and the yang. We can't go. Yeah, it's got. Yeah. So
I need a haircut.
I need a haircut too. But all right. Well, anyway, so the topic that I have brought to the table.
Are you supposed to bring topics? Because I'm sort of like a color man.
No, I know it's okay. But so the topic, and then we'll get to some audience questions and things like that. And Connor always has topics up his sleeve. But this is the topic
I got a bunch ready to go.
Do you? Okay. Well, my suggestion was, so Twin Peaks returned last night. Connor and I are both big fans. I haven't felt the way I felt before Twin Peaks since 1999, waiting for the prequels.
Right.
Okay. And I thought it was interesting to revisit that feeling of revisiting a topic at the same time as DC is rolling out The Watchmen again. So I really just wanted to prime Josh to talk about this topic because I want to hear him rant about things like, I don't know, the Preacher TV show. No, but how do we feel? How do we feel about revisiting beloved properties? Go.
Just in general?
Just in general.
But not in its original form, in a new form.
Yeah. Going back to the well, as they call it. I mean, also considered in this category is when I saw Guns N' Roses last summer.
Or when anybody else saw AC/DC.
You're right. Oh, no, AC/DC.
Axl Rose was the singer.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly. Did you see that Axl went on stage with, who did he go on stage with?
I don't know. AC/DC, last I knew.
No. He went on stage with somebody else. It might have been U2 or it might have been, I don't know. And he did AC/DC songs. I got to look this up. It was like, I saw it. I went, oh, come on.
We got to table this AC/DC conversation, by the way.
The AC/DC conversation is a problem.
Okay.
So.
Anyway.
Oh, that's what it was. This is how ridiculous it was. In LA, Axl joined Billy Joel on stage and they played an AC/DC song.
You know what? That's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah, like, no, that was nutty enough that I was like, all right.
My reaction to that was, oh, so this is fan fiction.
Yeah, that's what it is. So it turns out, like, after the fact that all those bands weren't so different than we thought, they're all just like, well, we're still alive and famous. That was rad. Remember, isn't it cool that we got record royalties and no one else does now? So
this is a headline I never thought I'd see. On Billboard magazine, Billy Joel and Axl Rose reflect on their it's fucking goddamn ads. Sorry, X. Billy Joel and Axl Rose reflect on their history together before rocking Dodger Stadium. What is their history together?
Who knows? They probably did a lot of cocaine and models together.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, so how do we feel about revisiting properties?
Connor, would you like to go?
Well, it's interesting. I meant to bring this up last night on the show, Ron, with the Twin Peaks show, but I didn't get a chance to. We are clearly in the middle of this era where networks are like, well, let's just bring everything back and hope that works, right? So we've had Heroes, and we've had 24, and we've had Gilmore Girls, and we've had Full House, and we've had
Wet Hot American Summer.
That was a different. I mean, that's not quite the same.
Is it?
We've had a lot of returning series, X-Files, and none of them that I've seen have been any good. Arrested Development
recently. Recent news that we're getting another season of Arrested Development.
Right. So
Josh's
it's interesting.
Favorite TV show ever.
None of them have been any good, as far as I can tell.
It's not that they haven't been good. I think it's been that they don't deliver that thing. I mean, if I were to look at this in a broader cultural context, which is when we were sort of coming up out of college, the big thing was postmodernism in television. It was the idea that like all of the stuff that we were watching, it was becoming very in vogue to reference everything else that had come before it. So all of a sudden, you're seeing Kevin Williamson and you're seeing Kevin Smith and you're seeing other men named Kevin, the Gilmore Girls, which talks about the media landscape that they live in at the same time. And that was like a really big deal. And then we were kind of like, all right, that's interesting. And then after that, we got this recycle culture where there are no new things. There's only like, what was that other thing we liked? And so they're either bringing things back or reforming them or rebooting them and it is such diminishing returns, like from a standpoint of like, but what's happened is now there's no audience for new things on a large scale. There's a billion new things on a small scale. And in TV, there's enough now that actually is enough good stuff that I don't worry about it. But sort of the big stuff, anything the networks are doing, the studios are doing is all rehashing because they don't want to take any risk.
Yeah, I think it's the risk thing is a big portion of it. I think also the I don't want to say laziness of the audience, but it's almost as if like, oh, it's another Transformers movie. Like I loved those toys when I was a kid. Like
no, I don't even think it's that anymore. I think it's another Transformers movie. All right. Yeah. And so they go, and it's not even people are excited about it. It's just habit forming, which I guess is the point.
There's also the idea that they have to create an event film for people to go to the movies. Mm-hmm. People don't just go to the movies on Friday night anymore and see a drama or a comedy. There's got to be an event that everyone is going to see.
Right.
I mean, that's part of it too. There's all kinds of things. It's just interesting that my big fear last night was that none of these have been good. And so here's another one that I love. And
I'm trying to think of one that was good. Like, I don't think Arrested Development was bad for the same reason that the others were. I think it was they tried to do something and they couldn't. It wasn't necessarily bad. It just wasn't as good as the other thing because they had to do that scheduling thing where they had to shoot it all funny and come up with a gimmick. But like, if Seinfeld were to come back, it would be like, don't do that.
It kind of did in that last season of Curb, though.
Yeah. And that was great. Yeah. So, but
because it wasn't what it was. It was a nod.
I'm interested in Roseanne because Roseanne's one of the top 10 all-time comedies.
I agree with you.
And in fact, literally the other day I was getting ready for work and I turned on one of those channels that just shows repeats and there was a Roseanne episode randomly and it was fantastic. It's still
brilliant. Still the only show that when I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is the only show that shows poor people. It was the only one. And
those first 5 or 6 seasons were brilliant. And so part of me is interested because it is you can't go wrong with John Goodman and Roseanne Barr, but
it could be a train wreck.
The last couple seasons were a train wreck, so who knows? Will and Grace is coming back. I never watched that in the first place. American Idol's coming back, even though it's only been gone a couple of years.
I feel like we're on the same page about this.
That doesn't count, though. It's a reality show, whatever.
Yeah.
No, it does count. It got canceled.
Well, that's
and now it's coming back as a new network and a new thing.
But that's like me talking about them bring back the Match Game. Like, I mean, it's game shows.
That would be coming back.
No, it is coming back. It came back. By the way, I've been watching a lot of the old Match Game from the 70s, and they're fantastic. Charles Nelson Riley, come on, it's great. But I'm sorry. Go on, Josh. What were you saying?
I was going to say that it seems like the question though is really about like bringing back beloved properties or things, or almost like you were almost acting like adaptations more so. Like you've taken the Preacher.
I think Raj wants you to complain about Preacher more.
I'm of a couple of different places on it because on the one hand, it doesn't matter because in some instances it doesn't really seem to affect or taint the original property, and then in others it does. So I look at it the way of I thought League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the movie, was a crime because it sort of forever tainted a very large audience towards what was a really great piece of comic book work who will never look at it.
You think it tainted it?
I think that like the people who
I think it's never really mentioned again after it came out and bombed hard. Like,
in a way, that's what I mean. So like, but okay, say that there are 20,000 people who went and bought League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the comic book, right? And those people are like, this is great, we love it. And then so you take that concept, you bring it to a much larger audience of millions, and those people will never check it out. They'll be like, no, that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So like,
they weren't going to check it out anyway.
And I don't know that. Probably not. But probably not.
I think when people talk about that movie, they talk about how that movie was the last thing Connery did. I don't think anyone really mentions it.
I know. I just think that like that's a bad example. That's a bad version of how something could negatively affect the perception of the source material that is really good. That's my only, like, it's really good, and there are probably people who will never check it out now because the movie was a piece of shit.
Yeah, maybe.
Where there are other things like
I think enough time has passed, and also it's not like that book was tearing up the charts anyway. It was and
I don't even mean this like for the benefit of the creators or anything like that. It's just like it's a good book that some people probably won't look at because the movie was a piece of shit. Right. Now Watchmen, on the other hand, like that book's fine. That doesn't matter what the movie was.
It still sold a ton of money.
Yeah, and in fact, it was beneficial. Preacher is probably a similar thing to, not even as bad as League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, because everybody who read that book, and now a few more people might check it out because the show is only horrible, I think, to people who've read the book. I think people who haven't read the book, they're like, it's fine. And and then there's things, it's like The Shining. Those are two completely different things. Like they kind of exist. Like I've read the book and I've seen the movie. Like they're both really good or interesting in their own way. They don't affect it. Like that's a different version of it. But I'm trying to think if there's stuff that's. It's
a similar conversation that we had way back before Watchmen. In that if you're in this position of being in charge and you've got to justify your quarter, you're gonna mine the hell out of the stuff that's proven.
Yep. You're gonna go with what works, right? Yeah.
It sucks. I was watching Network on Sunday.
So good, but I saw you Instagram that. I was so jealous because I love that movie.
I need to get that movie. I've been saying that for a decade.
It's a great movie, and it's really creepy how much it predicts everything that's happening right now. But also, it shows in the 70s, the era when big corporations really started having a hand in media companies, and how that changed everything too. And that's part of it too, is all these companies require their quarter, and it's easier to greenlight another Transformers movie
but what I
that is going to make $1 billion in China alone, rather than make 4 new ones that are risky.
What I want to know is what happened to the audience. What happened to the people who went to see The Godfather? Did those kind of people? I know that, but like, are there no more people like that?
They're gone, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Nothing we can do about it.
Like, does that audience not exist anymore? And I find that I think about that a lot. I've been thinking about it for.
How long have you been thinking about it, Josh? How long?
Well, okay, so what's the last huge movie, like blockbuster movie that made way more than it cost, that is also like almost universally critically lauded?
The Martian.
Yeah, but that wasn't. I mean, yes, that's a good example. It wasn't like a cultural change. It's not like people are still talking about it a ton. But
what movie had an impact on society and culture?
Culture, yeah,
right.
That was really successful and really good.
And is it an adaptation?
Doesn't matter. Actually, Godfather's an adaptation.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the myth about Hollywood. Is that Hollywood has always been about adaptations. Always.
Sure, but it.
But it's always been about franchises.
But the genre is still not always. It's been about franchises since Godfather.
That's what I'm saying.
Oddly enough, Godfather ruined it.
People say now there's no ideas. They just mean there's too many franchises. They've always been. Well, Hollywood's always been remaking. I mean, there's 4 versions of Scarface. There's 4 versions of
right. But one of the reasons why and Mark in the chat room called it out with La La Land. I mean, like that was one that was completely original that we all loved, that did well in the box office. That like I don't know if it impacted society and culture, but for a good couple of months,
talking about it in 5 years though.
Yeah.
Like are you going to see posters on the walls of college kids in film school in 2030 of that movie?
So by that definition, then it's Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I think
there's only a handful of those movies, though.
I know. That's like
people write in and ask us about the next Watchmen. There's only a couple of like true genre-changing classics out there.
Right.
I think maybe too much to ask why they have. I mean, Pulp Fiction's definitely the last one that's done.
But that's interesting then, because that would have been 22 years ago.
It's 20. No, it's 94. Yeah, 23 years ago.
Yeah. So
man, I remember. I remember the night I saw that. I could tell you exactly. I saw it at the Huntington Shore Theater on Long Island. I saw it with my friend Cynthia, who was my friend Artie's girlfriend. Artie wasn't there. He might have been he might have been a tour. I forget. Was
it wintertime? Because I saw it in New Year's.
Clerks was not a gigantic success.
Clerks was not a gigantic. I could tell you when I saw Clerks at the Huntington Cinema Arts Center on a date. That was fun. Yeah, I remember going to see all these movies. I remember I could draw the scene. Like I know exactly what room, what theater it was in.
Fiction wasn't like it wasn't like they take out an ad in Variety and be like, we made $100 million. It wasn't like that. It was like a slow, like The Godfather was.
Well,
although
I'm sure they did. I'm sure the Weinsteins did.
I know cinema business is different than it was in the 70s, though.
Right.
Because those
by those regards, then do we have one now with Get Out?
Maybe.
It's made. It didn't make $100 million.
Really
it's made a lot.
Yeah, it's made a lot. It's really, everybody, it's on the fringe, but yeah, it's made $214 million so far. That's a ridiculous.
That's more like a Blair Witch kind of thing, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because horror always gets put in this kind of corner. Nobody puts horror in the corner, but it does.
Everyone does.
I didn't mean it like that, but that's probably somewhat true.
It is totally true. People just
it's not looked as prestige.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Although I know it's kind of like Get Out's a horror. I don't think of it like that. I think it broke out of that a little bit.
It's like a thriller. It's one of those, But
I still feel like it's only a certain segment of the population who is. That's everything. I guess everything is a certain segment of it's whatever population chooses to pay attention to. But it's not like they're talking about it in Alabama.
Well, it's funny because The Godfather's a genre film. It's a crime film.
That part of it,
not a straight.
But that was also a genre film, a crime film in a time period that thrived on crime films. This is me a couple of months ago when I was raving when I saw The French Connection and Dog Day Afternoon, and I stayed through and watched all the credits, and I realized that both movies were based on magazine articles from stuff that happened 2 years before the movie came out, and it was which I never realized, and then that's it, and then I looked into it, and so many movies were like that. There were so many. That's why we got our Dirty Harrys and our all, and what was the one with Charles Bronson, Death Wish, and all these kind of gritty 70s dirty city crime movies, because that was in vogue.
Is it Titanic?
Good
yes.
argument.
Titanic not like a
absolutely.
No, yeah, agreed. Yeah.
I think
that was a gritty crime movie, but yeah.
Well, body count.
There was lots of room on the piece of wood.
That's all I'm saying. All she had to do was shimmy over, like literally.
And then there would have been the benefit of them keeping each other warm with heat. It just, it's like when Cap crashed the plane at the end of the movie.
What's interesting is that, we had a comic last week. Literally, Dr. Manhattan was in it.
Yeah, literally.
And there was not even a fraction of the backlash that Before Watchmen generated.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Not even a fraction. In fact, people don't. The fact that I'm saying it is surprising both of you. Because no one is even mentioning that.
It's interesting.
You would have thought they committed war crimes when they made those books, and now he's actually in the goddamn book,
right?
And nothing.
Yeah.
You think people finally figured out that Alan Moore actually is an asshole?
No, I just think
I think the exhaustion, the tanks are empty.
Tell that to Nick Spencer.
Well, because there's a new thing to be, kind of.
Everybody was angry over here about Captain America. No one noticed Dr. Manhattan slipping in over here.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny because there were people who, before Watchmen and the run up to it, who are still to this day fuck everyone who took part of it. Yep. And while it's true, yes, fuck JMS, but everybody else, they're just doing a job.
No, yeah, there's some particularly loudmouth people in comics who some I like and respect, who still are hung up on it, and it's like, oh man, just let it go, because at the end of the day, this was our argument when Before Watchmen came out, and this is the argument now that this is happening in DC with the Button and the Doomsday Clock.
Are they mad at Josh Williamson and Tom King now? Are they like, fuck those guys?
Yeah, no, and the thing is, it doesn't change it doesn't change anything.
No.
Yeah.
That Watchmen book exists, whether they do another movie or not, whether they do more comics or not, and so go have fun with it. That's the whole point of these.
I have my Dark Knight Returns here, and I don't care one whit about the 2 sequels. They don't change that volume at all.
Strikes Again. It's great.
Yeah, it really is.
Nutbag, crazy shit town. It's great. Like I went back and read it. And I don't think it has anything to do with what I thought was wrong with this. This is amazing.
Well, that's another talk about revisiting the property. I mean, when Dark Knight 2 came out, that was so hyped, and it was so like we're like, what? And it took me literally 10 years to recognize, like, oh God, this is amazing. This is
like it was. Oh, I had the completely wrong idea, and I was wrong at the time.
Yeah.
Like I just was like, because it wasn't what I thought I wanted. Right. And what was like in retrospect, I didn't want that again. I didn't want more of that. That would have been pointless.
That's why it's funny, because I was thinking about this as well too, because I was listening to Star Wars Minute today, which Josh, I don't know if you got mentioned on it. I don't know if it got back to you or not, but they're in the last minutes of the movie, right? Like I think today was Anakin and Padme getting married on the veranda, right? The last shot of episode 2, and
I have blocked all of this out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, and they had Radke crash, and it was like almost like it was like a wrestling intro. Like they opened the show as if it was just those two. Then they played music, and Radke came in. Like it was very. I got to email Pete and tell him good job on that. It was very well done. Yeah, and then he just tore the movie to shreds and talked about how it was garbage and horrible and all that sort of stuff. But but that reminds me, because that's the thing. Like we went to go see the prequels, and it's like if there's any emotional scarring deeper than these 3 movies, I'd like a media emotional scarring. I would like someone to argue something to be more than the prequels, because whether or not you want to be cool about it and be like, oh, whatever, I got over it, I didn't expect it, we were all scarred by those 3 movies.
Michael Jackson.
What about Michael Jackson?
You could love Michael Jackson for a while, and then it's like, oh. Or Bill Cosby.
Yes,
like
I was similar. A song will come on the radio, and I will start to be like, yeah, and then I go, oh fuck.
I can listen to early Jackson 5 though.
Yeah, which is because it's delightful, right?
It is so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy how good they sound.
Maybe and the Robin song, Rockin' Robin. Oh, it's great. Yeah, but no, but the thing was is that those Star Wars movies came out, and we're just idiots because like we wanted it to be something and it wasn't, and then we went again. And we're like, well, it's got to be this now. And then it wasn't. And then we went again, and it wasn't.
There's a lot. You can convince yourself of a lot, right? So that's why I'm not even sure if I'm going to trust my own opinion on Twin Peaks until 5 or 10 years later.
That's a very good way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's going to be – I mean, those are the 2 properties that mean the most to me.
I remember we did a podcast on the Watchmen movie like an hour after we saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And – that's not enough time. Like we had some thoughts, but like it wasn't. Well, and I think we did a not horrible review of, or I did a not horrible review of the first Zack Snyder Superman, because I was like an hour out of it. And I was like,
I remember we did that. The 3 of us did that with Spider-Man. We came home from Ron's. We were at your house in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we took the train ride home and did the show. It's probably good to wait a little bit longer than an hour.
Yes.
Well, I mean, even so, going back to Twin Peaks, I mean, we recorded our part 1 and part 2 episode a minute after it ended, and 12 hours later, I found myself going, I feel differently now.
Yeah, you need that. You need a little bit of time to reflect.
It's got to matter, though. It's got to. Yeah.
The prequels are awful movies. There's nothing. They're bad movies. Like there's not a redeemable factor. There's not a. Well, if you think about it like this, they're awful.
I just remember going into it, I think the 4th time or so, going, listen, this time it's gonna be good. Like this time.
I don't remember exactly where it was or what number it was, but I remember the feeling of realizing like, oh, this is not good. Yeah. And I feel like it was during the Rick Ollier scenes.
Oh, jeez.
Like I think I was watching that.
The whole planet's a city, Josh.
This is bad.
Well, it's funny though, because I wonder why when it works and it doesn't work. So Saturday night I went to Brooklyn and I saw the Makeup Play, which was they were on Discord in the late 90s. It's Ian Savonius from Nation of Ulysses, and they were literally, I remember interviewing them in 1997, so literally 20 years later, right? And they blew the roof off the place. It was perfect. It was great. It was like,
but that's not the same thing necessarily. Like that's an experience. You had an experience,
right?
Great. not necessarily the same thing as if they put on an album and you were to go buy it and you'd be like, oh,
a live performance is like going to a play revival.
Which is funny because all of their albums were just live performances. They never recorded a studio record. They just and they did this weird kind of gospel it was really very like what's the churches that are very active, revival-esque. Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of callback, like let me hear you say yeah, and everyone goes yeah, it was very much like that.
But you know what though, it's interesting. This happens with musicians all the time. The music they're making in their 20s and 30s is not the music they're making in their 40s, 50s, 60s. And that's what George Lucas is. He made a movie series when he was young, and he came back when he was old. And you're not the same person. That your wants, needs, desires, things you find interesting to study. Maybe you are more into treaties when you're in your 60s than you are when you're in your 20s. And trade federations. And that's just it's no different than Billy Joel now, to call back to the beginning, making an album now as opposed to when he was dating Christy Brinkley. It's a different
fun fact about Billy Joel. His latest wife went to my high school and is
in your class.
No, maybe 3 or 4 years under me. So
there
you go.
It's interesting because topically, Soundgarden came back out with a new album in 2010, 11, something like that, and I was super excited. And I downloaded the first track, and and at first I was like, this is great, and then I was like, it's not doing anything for me, and it never did. They weren't bad. It wasn't like terrible. It just didn't have the same sticking power. That when we talk about the 3-album thing a lot, like every band has 3 great albums, and they're usually, concurrent. There's not
right in a row. Yeah, that's the.
So it's like if a filmmaker or a writer or anybody, they'll last longer or shorter, but usually there's a point of view that they have during a specific time that really connects with, the audience for whatever. And sometimes it's a large audience, sometimes it's a smaller one, and then you go away for a little bit and they come back and like, oh, you're different, Yeah.
And it's okay as long as you're not trying to tell the same story you told 40 years ago. Like Clint Eastwood's telling different movies now than he made when he was the Westerns he made when he was in his 30s. But he's not trying to redo that over and over again. He's telling different kind of stories, usually about old men dying, and that's clearly on his mind. So as long as you're not trying to go back and redo things, that's where the problem.
I didn't make it through Sully, but I did watch that one about his daughter being was she a scout? Or he was a scout, I think, like a few years ago with Justin Timberlake and. Oh
yeah, I did see that. That was fun.
I love movies like that though. It wasn't good, but I loved it. I don't know why. Yeah, you know me.
The Blind Scout.
Yeah, love sport movies.
And
So bizarre.
So no thoughts on Preacher. Okay.
No thoughts on Preacher. I'm trying to bait him, and it's not working clearly.
I don't. I forgot about the show. Like, is it still there?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll see somebody say like that show's really good, and I just think no, it isn't. And I thought I don't want to argue with them about it though. I don't really care.
And I don't know if the show's any good. It might be a good show. It's just not. It's not the story that we expect.
Well, to me, that's not what I was sold.
Right, but I'm saying if you've never read Preacher, maybe it is a good show. We just never be able to accept it as a good show because it's not the road movie.
Well, hold on. But are you we both went all method, man. I feel like when they sold us the show, meaning as fans or whatever, and they were like, listen, we love the comic book. We're going to be totally true to it. We're going to do this. And I thought, I get to see like an adaptation of that. And it was a poor man's adaptation. That's what I felt like. Yeah. And I watched 2 of them, and I went, nope.
I think I made 3, and I got so bored of it.
That was the great crime. Really, was that it was boring.
It was boring, and I had like 2 on my DVR, and I would look at them, and I'd go, I don't really want to watch anymore. And that's what you got to stop watching a show.
And I'm definitely starting to get there, like, with superhero adaptations. Like I don't understand why that's still so exciting.
Well, that goes back to your whole thing about, everybody saying, I can't believe we're, it's like, yeah, believe it.
You either feel that or you don't. I still feel it.
Yeah.
What it feels like to me though, is that they're not new stories because they're just finding a way to retell stories that we've already heard and been talking about for years and repackaging them so they work in the cinema version. Now, that doesn't mean there's not some good ones, but like, the idea every time a new one comes out, that's everybody's new favorite greatest thing ever, and I find that like no, it isn't. Like they're not all good.
That's not just related to superhero films. I mean, that's every Netflix show that comes out. That's Stranger Things. That's the culture.
Yeah, that's the culture.
It's the internet culture.
Yeah, no, that's the culture of new shiny, as I call it. It's like, ooh, this is the greatest thing ever, and then tomorrow the next thing comes up. This is the greatest thing ever, and it's just like
because you got to write your headline. The headline's got to be greatest thing ever. It can't be this thing's pretty good.
Right, 41 things you missed, and
trust me, I know that does not get the fans.
Yeah. Should we engage in the question in the chat room? It's what is the greatest baseball movie of all time?
Ooh, that's a really good. Can he say Ken Burns baseball? We're talking about a
no.
Okay, well let's review the contenders.
Okay.
All right.
Out.
Pride of the Yankees.
I'm sorry.
We're going way back. We're going to the 20s.
Yeah, the Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees. Yeah.
Gary Cooper is Lou Gehrig. That's an amazing film.
That's himself.
Then you got exactly. Then you got The Natural.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a topic that I want to come back to based on our thing after we do this.
Then you got 8 Men Out.
Major League.
Field of Dreams. A League of Their Own.
That counts.
League of Their Own.
Major League 2.
Yeah.
Major League 3 back in the minors.
What about Mr. Baseball?
Brewster's. Wait, no, not Brewster. What's the one where Richard Pryor is?
Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears. What about Angels in the Outfield? Angels in the Outfield.
Brewster's Millions. Is that Brewster's Millions?
Yeah, Brewster's Millions is when he makes it's him and John Candy and they play the Yankees. Yeah.
Right, we need Connor Bull Durham.
Bull Durham. Yeah.
A more recent one, Moneyball.
Well,
I mean,
it is a movie about baseball.
Baseball adjacent.
42. Connor, The Sandlot.
I said that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Bang the Drum slowly. I can't say it. 61, right?
Yeah. Well, that's an HBO movie.
The Scout. Think about The Scout with what's his name?
With Robert De Niro?
No, The Scout
that's Albert Brooks.
Name? Albert Brooks, thank you. Yeah. Yes, Albert Brooks, yeah. So I feel like we got to narrow this down to 5.
All right, so we're at
Hold on. I will not be challenging this. Edward Bauman is correct and wrong. Brewster's Millions is also about baseball. He has a baseball team. He plays
absolutely.
Baseball. They put the Yankees in it. That's
minor league player.
How he the money.
Did you know that there's a movie from 2006 starring Michael Keaton and Robert Downey Jr. called Game 6?
Is it about the Mets?
It's 1986, and New York playwright Nicky Rogan faces a series of fears, but none more frightening than the powerful critic Steven Schwimmer. Nicky worries about a scathing review when his play premieres on Broadway. In the meantime, his beloved Red Sox are trying to win the World Series.
What?
Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch.
Yep.
All right, I feel like we can get 5 great ones out of that, though. So let's say they're going to be Field of Dreams, The Natural, 8 Men Out. You guys fill in the other.
A League of Their Own. I mean, it depends on what direction.
Major League.
Depends. Yeah, I think Major League. Yeah, I choose Major League over Bull Durham.
Yeah, Major League, League of Their Own, The Natural, Field of Dreams. What was the first one?
Catch. I just remember what's her name's underwear in that trailer.
8 Men Out, Connor.
What's the 5th one?
He's saying A League of Their Own over
A League of Their Own, Field of Dreams, The Natural, 8 Men Out.
Major League.
I
would put Bad News Bears over 8 Men Out.
What would you do?
Put Bad News Bears over 8 Men Out.
Really?
How are you not putting the Pride of the Yankees on this list, Connor?
Because it can be number 6 or 7.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I say.
8 Men Out's the one I watched the most.
Well, yeah, because of the history, and all that sort of stuff. Did we ever watch the John Hamm $1 Million Arm movie, Connor?
I have not watched it.
Oh, what about John Goodman as the Babe?
Not a good movie.
Not a good movie.
Not as bad as the Ty Cobb movie with Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
And Knox. Spent that whole movie looking for a grant from Tommy Lee Jones. Never got it.
Count the whole series of Arliss.
What was the topic? Who had the topic they wanted to come back to?
Josh had something he wanted to read.
No, we didn't. Did we pick a best?
So of those 5, what is the best then?
Your personal favorite?
Yeah.
Mine is in The Natural.
For love of game. I
that was
think,
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, no.
I go with Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams is my number 2.
I go with Natural or 8 Men Out, but probably The Natural.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of The Natural. I mean, like, I like it and everything.
The lighting is so nice.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
so
But
Redford's
it's
hair.
just the fact that it's not real. That's where it loses me on it, you know?
Well,
Like, I like baseball that's steeped in lore and, like, you know, the history.
Major League
you know?
isn't
As
real.
opposed to it's supposed to Field of Dreams, which is about ghosts and corn.
Well, Major League was real. Major League was about the Indians, you know what I mean? Like, it was at least tied to a real team, you know? Like, I don't know.
Okay, that was fun.
Yeah. All right, Josh, what do you want to revisit?
I want to go back and say, so now that we do have real hindsight, we used to do this show. We used to do the show where we go back and we'd say what the best superhero movie was. And so as we look back over the last 17 years, what are the actual, like, really good movies that you either still think about or still watch? Not the ones that are pretty good and they're fine or whatever, but are there any of those movies, like, really good still, do you think? Those superhero movies.
I mean, or is there a day is like Back to X-Men or in all time?
I was going to say Back to X-Men because I think we all agreed that, like, you know,
That's the
Batman
starter.
89 is what it is. And
Yeah.
Superman 78.
So really, Mystery Men is the end of that era of Tim Burton inspired night, you know, like those kind of things.
I walked out of that movie coincidentally to go see the Blair Witch Project.
What was the question? Because I disconnected for a second.
What is the best? What is the best superhero movie since 2000?
Dark Knight.
Since 2000, 2000. No, since when did X-Men come out? 2000. Sorry,
2000. Yeah.
You say Dark Knight without even pause, without even he doesn't stop and think Dark Knight. Interesting.
Not even close.
Wow, Josh, what is yours?
I don't know that I know. Like, I know that I've watched a couple of my kids and I had different reactions with them later.
Well, we're all biased because I'm without a pause. I say First Class.
Oh, that's really good too.
Right? Those boots.
Second one is Future Past was great. Also, I really
It was not
enjoyed
great.
that.
It was not great. I mean, listen, I'm an X-Men fan. It was not great.
I haven't seen it since then, so I'm actually going to go with the first Iron Man movie.
Really?
The first Iron Man movie is so fucking good.
It's good. It's really good.
What about Avengers?
Without the first Iron Man movie, you don't have it.
True.
It's cool and it's awesome. And I even like this. I watched the second Avengers and I liked it a lot more than I did the last time recently.
Yeah.
But I watched Iron Man not too long ago.
Iron Man's a great movie, and it's overlooked because it was the first one, and things have gotten bigger and louder and flashier and more characters. But you know, if you go back to pure sort of fun experience, cinematic, a star-making turn, a character star-making turn, no one gives a shit about Iron Man before that. Like
it's the old school of these kind of movies. Like, it was like, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah,
we're setting the table. Someone said American Splendor, talking about superheroes, not comics, but that's a great film, cult movie.
Look at Josh pandering to the chat room.
Sorry, I like that movie a lot, but it's not what we're talking about.
I feel like American Splendor is more relatable to you now in your old age than any of the other ones. Yeah.
No, less so. That's the kind of adulthood I didn't have, but that's like the little grouchy man. It was just, I thought actually it was a really well-made film.
It was, yeah.
I play a character on the show, Ron.
Giamatti.
Mm-hmm.
He's great.
I can see his face making that. I think The Dark Knight's good, although I don't know how much I enjoy it. Like, if I don't know that I want to sit all the way through it anymore.
Okay, here's a question.
You know, when I could watch though, I was like, oh, this is really, it's compelling.
What movie, not superhero, but any movie, and maybe this is just weird because I don't like watching movies on planes, but you're on a plane, it's free, it's just playing on the screen in front of you, and you watch it, like you have to watch it. What movie?
Any movie?
What do you mean?
Any movie. What a stupid question.
It's horrible. Like, you just asked me what movie I would watch if I had a choice.
I've watched like 6 movies on a flight to Europe.
No,
wait. I know where you're going with this, and I think I can salvage this question.
Right, you know what I mean.
We all have a short list of movies that we keep watching over and over again.
Yes, that's what I mean. Thank you.
You want to know what those are?
Yeah.
Okay. Gangs of New York. I just watched it again. It's not, and I recognize it's not even great, but I keep watching it. I watched it the other day. It's amazing. We can all skip Goodfellas. We know that. Right. I have others. I could keep going, but I don't want to keep talking all the time.
Connor?
Sorry, I'm having all kinds of internet problems. Skip me for a second.
Okay.
Right. For me, oddly enough, is because it happened on planes, but for some reason I cannot turn off the Steve Jobs movie with Fassbender.
Wow, that's ironic.
Oh, so this is not like great movie that you love. It's just a movie that you're fascinated with?
Yeah, no, I'm not fascinated with it. It's like, and like I started off hating it, and now I kind of love it. I've watched the first 2/3 of that movie 9 times. It's like...
So For me, like I could fill in any of the three or four or five Fincher movies in a row.
Oh, Zodiac.
I just watched that last week, but I could watch I've watched Social Network a dozen times.
Yeah, Social Network was one. Social Network was one back when I was in San Francisco, and I had my Blu-ray player hooked up, and I had that Blu-ray. I would just put it in while I was working, which I never do. Which I'm not like Josh. Like I never,
It's music. Sorkin is like music in that instant. That. But I've watched Girl with the Dragon Tattoo 100 times.
I've never seen that. I meant to see it, but it was very long, and everyone said it was bad.
They're wrong. It's really. I love it.
The Swedish version is much better.
Yeah, and I'm the aging hipster.
No, it just is. It's more authentic.
I don't care. I hadn't read the book or whatever. I'm fascinated by looking at it, and I was fascinated by the performances in it, like the people in it. I'm bummed that they're never going to do more of them. It's kind of like that sucks.
No, because the story gets dumb.
Does it?
It becomes a superhero movie actually after.
Okay, well then
you don't want any more.
It's a perfect thing as it is.
Yeah, she becomes this invincible. She dies, comes back to life. Like it's just.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't know any of that.
It doesn't.
I love that movie though. I think that's fantastic. And even Gone Girl, I've watched a shitload of times.
All right.
And Pulp Fiction, I will watch Pulp Fiction all the time. To me, it's like, and like I get Pulp Fiction runs stuck in my head like people get lyrics.
Steve Jobs was one I definitely couldn't turn off. Human Centipede, I just can't stop watching that. I got Josh. There we go.
It's a stupid joke.
Connor, are there any movies that you keep watching on just like with the noise? Or
right now it's Hail Caesar.
Good choice.
It's on a lot HBO, and whenever it's on, I pop in for at least part of it.
I wanted to like that a lot more than I did.
I didn't really love it coming to the theater, but I've seen it probably 10 times since on TV, and I love it more.
I loved it in the theater. I mean, about a third of the way through the movie.
I liked it. I didn't love it in the theater.
I thought it was really impressive, but
about a third of the way through the movie, I realized what they were doing, and then I just was in it. Like I totally Mike Romo did. I'm like, okay, let's do this.
That was false advertising. If you go back and look at the trailer, it was not the movie they actually gave you. And so I think I was really disappointed that I wasn't getting that movie.
Yeah.
And then once you know that, it's great. And also the worst part of it is actually the plot. The George Clooney bits are the worst part of the whole movie. It's everything else that I love the most. I watch that the most probably right now.
All right.
But
I watch Fargo all the time.
Fargo. Yeah, any Coen Brothers really.
Not any.
Not any?
No. The music one. Llewyn Davis and the other one. Any Coen Brothers movie, basically, if it's on TV, I'll watch it.
Llewyn Davis, though, for me, is a very seasonal movie. I can only watch it in the winter. Right? I mean, it's a cold movie. Like it's hard. Like I don't want to watch it in the summer when it's like 80 degrees out and everyone's wearing jackets.
You would want to watch it then.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
It's great. I'm not like a huge Lebowski person. I mean, I've seen it a lot. I know it really well, but I'd go Fargo over that. For whatever reason, I think I keep trying to watch. I keep watching it, wondering what it is that's so brilliant about it. Like I can tell it's brilliant because it's super simple. I listened to a really interesting interview with Noah Hawley the other day where he was talking about when he watched the movie and what he got out of it, and then what he put into the TV show, and it was fat. Did you start watching that, Ron?
No, it's on my lab. I've been a little busy. I've been recording it on the YouTube DVR. So
Ron just watched 30 hours of Twin Peaks.
I know. It's so good. I mean, it's. I'm just talking about the third season. You don't have to watch the others. It doesn't matter. I mean,
I'm just gonna watch the latest one with Ewan McGregor. I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's all. That's what I'm. And Winstead, she's in it too, right? Yeah,
she's amazing. By the way.
But no. It's funny because my whole TV watching, like we watch. Me and my girlfriend watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy tonight, and I realized that we're like 4 behind. Like it's just like April. Like honestly, several large events happened in April that just nuked my entire like media watching life. I still haven't finished Legion, right? Like it's just, I'm so behind on everything, and then layering in doing the Twin Peaks show, like and double shipping episodes twice a week was not fun. So it's definitely. I hit that point where it felt like when we were doing Goodfellas. Remember when I told you guys, where I'm like, I'm done with Tony Bennett. I'm like, I need a break.
Oh God. I haven't watched Goodfellas since we've done the show.
Oh, I have. I saw it twiice.
I saw the theater a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but that's different. I need some time.
Still?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, but it was kind of like it was a very I worry about these analytical shows that they suck the romance out of things.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think I agree to that point. I think there's some just whack jobs out there doing it now.
No, I even worry with the Twin Peaks stuff. I worry for my own self that I'm going to.
Oh, yeah, no, but from my point of view, doing the Twin Peaks show, like I'm in love with Fire Walk with Me now. Like actually when I have free time, I just throw it on now and I watch the nightclub scene and the like all the like there's like and I didn't have as much of an appreciation for that movie as I did from doing the podcast. Like
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I will watch that every single time it's even a hint of being on. If you mention it, I will start watching it.
The Natural. So, all right. Well, we got 10 minutes to go. So
QA?
Should we do Q? Well, first, before we do Q&A, should we give them a little listen, tomorrow, everyone in the chat room, stay tuned to the iFanboy Twitter tomorrow morning. That's all I'm going to say. So there you go. And this is a carryover from the last Hangouts. So
it's not a big, you can just tell them what it is. It's not like
the T-shirts are launching tomorrow. You're going to be able to buy T-shirts tomorrow. So
I already bought some.
There you go. Good job. All right. So
I thought I bought them yesterday, but I forgot to actually hit buy. So they were still in my card this morning. I was like, why are there still shirts in my card?
Son of a bitch.
Connor had a little buy button installed on his laptops just so that he likes
buy stocks and shirts.
All right, let's take your questions in the chat room for the next 10 minutes or so. Before Connor goes running as part of his boxing regime.
Lindsay's doing kickboxing, so I got to watch my ass now.
You should be worried.
I know.
Yeah. All right, questions in the chat room. All right, what movie makes you cry every time?
Everything at this point, but my first answer to that is always Waking Ned Divine. At the end,
I did not expect that.
It's true. You know the movie?
Yes, yeah, of course.
At the end, they all toast, and at the side of the hill, and the music starts up. For some reason, that kills me every time.
Connor, what movie makes you cry?
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams as well too. Yeah.
I will never watch Marley and Me again.
Oh, jeez. All right. Mark asked, yes, we do have several documents of superpowers. Thank you to everyone who did it. That's one of the things I need to get back to everyone and thank them and collate it, but we have the superpowers under control. So
I feel like I just look at that and it's going to ruin all of my future thoughts though.
Yeah.
Wait, I have a question about that.
Yeah.
The other week, Ron said the guy's power was leveling, but I thought we did that one before.
We might have. I didn't look at the doc before that. So the problem is when you have the doc, you got to use the doc.
I didn't know there was a doc.
So, all right. Any movie you had an opinion on looking back that totally and drastically changed?
I would say Unforgiven is the first thing I thought of because when I saw it when I was 16, I was like, what the fuck was that? That was stupid. And then later I was like, oh.
Tron Legacy. I saw that in the theater and everyone was like, oh, that was shit, whatever. And then like 2 years later, I watched it on Blu-ray and like, this is awesome. Like that was great. So, what's a movie that you loved and then you watched it again and then you're like, oh,
I mean, everything from when I was a kid.
Anything by Kevin Smith?
Yeah. No.
Anything Kevin Smith post Mallrats.
I stand by. I like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
True. Yeah.
It's funny.
We've gotten a lot of stuff out of that. Yeah.
What did we watch that? I feel like when I was in the heavy DVD buying period, and like every time something would come out that I remembered as a kid, I was like, oh, I get that. But I can't think of like UHF.
I love UHF.
I know, but I was like, I love that movie. And then I watched it again. I was like, all right, that's enough.
Connor, do you have anything to weigh in on movies that your opinion changed?
Not really.
Ooh, that's a really good question.
Other than the prequels, or
you like the prequels more now, right?
No, I mean, other than thinking I loved them, and then not.
All right, good question, but I don't know how to answer it. Best Seinfeld episode.
I've been watching them slowly, and they're all. I watched. You remember when in Back to the Future when the dad is watching? Was it Gleason? Yes. And he just laughed. Like that's what I'm like watching Seinfeld now. I watched The Little Kicks last night, and I was like, Jesus. I think the late seasons are really good.
For me, I haven't rewatched a single episode in years, but there are moments that stick with me that I still reference And I feel like, you know, like, so like Frank Costanza, that's not a guy. I don't like that kind of guy, or whatever that line is.
If I had to pick a favorite, it would be an episode that had a Frank Costanza plot, though.
Yep.
Or a Putty. I find Putty hilarious now, and I did not when I was younger.
Yeah. Connor?
I mean, it's really hard to even pick. I mean,
it's hard to remember.
I always had a soft spot for the Vandelay Industries episode.
Oh, my hand!
When he falls on the ground,
George comes running out of the bathroom, falls over.
My hand. Oh no, I can answer this. My hands out.
Festivus is really good.
No, my favorite episode is when Kramer gets the job.
That's the little
Kramer.
kicks.
Yeah.
I watched it last night.
Which one is it?
The little kicks.
Oh, I don't know what that means, but okay.
Episode 5, because Elaine does her dance with the kicks at her, and all the boys start to hate her. Yeah. And then the other part of that is that George brings Kramer to an office building and tells him
to go to use the bathroom. He knows where all the good bathrooms are in the city, which is genius. And then Kramer just gets caught up in a meeting and then just
doesn't even work here.
I don't even
the line was. I almost wrote this down last night because it was like, I'm afraid I'm going to have to let you go. I didn't really work here, and that's what makes this so hard. But then the other part of it is that he keeps going home and getting in husband-wife fights with Jerry.
Yes, exactly. Like the food is cold, and Jerry.
This was delicious when I made it
2 hours ago. Yeah, exactly.
Kenny Rogers Roasters. I always like that one.
That's a really good one too.
Josh, your thoughts quickly on Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I haven't seen it. I really want to.
Okay.
I'm vacillating. I was trying because all movies are like 2.5 hours long now. They either start at 6, which is too early, or 10:30, which is too late. So I haven't been able to do that. I've had other stuff to do. I want to go see that and Alien really bad.
I want to see. Yeah, I'm probably going to see Alien this week or this weekend or something.
Aliens is a movie that I've loved more and more and more and more like every year since I've seen it.
Since you've been born.
Yes.
No.
Every time I see it, I love it more than the last time I saw it. Aliens also.
I'll give Chris in the chat room anything with Uncle Leo. Uncle Leo has legs in the iFanboy verse.
Uncle Leo? Painted on eyebrows.
That's the episode before the little kicks.
Alien or Aliens? Why not both?
They're different movies, but if I had to pick one, I'd go with Alien.
Yeah,
because it's got a cool story behind it too.
I like. Well, you know what Aliens got, which Aliens doesn't have.
Bill Paxton?
Nope. Alien that Aliens doesn't have. What Alien has.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
What's his name? I can't think of his name. But
Connor. Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah, that was.
He's a goddamn American treasure.
Why
he should be on the list?
Why don't they get a no? Why
don't
they
vote for Harry Dean Stanton? Connor.
No, I'm gonna veto it. I'm still pissed about Steve Martin.
Wait, we all agreed that Steve Martin's on.
No, someone vetoed it. We'll have to go back to the
vetoed Steve Martin. I've said Steve Martin.
One of you. I nominated him.
It had to be Josh. I'm pro Steve Martin.
I might have. I feel like I could have, but now I don't know why I would have said that.
Mr. Hartunian.
But
things are going to start happening to me. The movie is literally every minute of The Jerk is genius. There you go. Josh realized that he vetoed it. Now he's being quiet.
No, I don't know. I was thinking about it. I don't know why. I feel like I might have, but now I don't know why.
I think you're just being contrary.
No, contrary. Maybe. I don't know. I just did it then. Terminator 1. You know why? One reason. Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn, Aliens also. So there you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, now we're just getting into which movie and sequel do you like better? Star Trek 1 or Star Trek 2?
It's valid. 2. That's a stupid question, though.
Well, 1, I like 1 a lot. One's got some.
1 is not good.
I know 1 is not good. No, I know, but I like. That's why I like it. All right. So we're coming up on 10:30. It's been an hour. Any closing thoughts, Connor Kilpatrick?
He made a great face. Well, it's like you got called away a teacher.
No, I'm already in the next thing we're doing in my head, so I've lost what we're doing here.
Josh Flanagan, closing thoughts.
I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1, which I watched again for the first time in a long time. But Ron, you said recently, or no, one of you said it wasn't that good.
I watched it.
I
watched it with my nieces pre-seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I still haven't taken them to see. And one, it just didn't feel. I was like, oh, I like this a lot. Like, what was I thinking?
Oh, I love that one. Yeah. I think that has to do with who you're with. Question for you: Is 2 any more scary than the first one, more or less, in terms of little kids?
I can't think like a 6-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monsters, scary parts, whatever.
Oh wait, do you go to what is that website? What is that?
I don't know.
Oh man.
There's a big monster in the opening scene that they fight.
But it's in the background.
Is it silliness around it at all? If there's silliness,
Groot's dancing in front of the whole fight.
Oh, then it doesn't matter. That's
all happens in the background.
All right, so here you go. So commonsensemedia.org, and this is where parents and things like that can weigh in. It recommends ages 12 and higher. Mm-hmm. It says great for families. It gets 4 out of 5 on positive messages, 3 out of 5 on positive role models.
I just want to know if they're going to be scared by monsters.
Shush. You asked the question. 4 out of 5 on violence, 2 out of 5 on sex, 3 out of 5 on language. Well, like 5 has got a lot. 1 has got nothing. So 1 is electro, right? 3 on consumerism, 2 on drinking, drugs, and smoking. Parents say ages 13 and higher. Kids say 11 and higher. So Josh,
if they like the first one, then it'll be fine. It's
Oliver's favorite movie is Jurassic World, so
you're fine.
Yeah,
we just finished. We finished Empire last night, and I watched on Sunday, and I asked Ollie. I was waiting for the part, and this is the face that he made when he said, "Luke, I'm your father." And I said, "Did you hear what he said?" Yeah. So those reaction videos of kids watching it. My son's not going to give me that, which makes sense because I would.
And honestly, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to criticize your parenting, but I could argue that it was like. So I waited to watch all this with Amelia and Abby until a couple of years ago. Like Abby must have been like 8 or something like that, and we watched all 3. Oh no, it was before Force Awakens came out, so we watched all. I don't know when this was. Anyway, at some point we did a weekend where we watched them all, and during Empire, when the Luke was on father, Abby she's like pause, and she's like, wait a minute. And then she also did it in Jedi she's like, pause, they're brother and sister. She's like, but she kissed him. So she like zeroed in on it really well. So yeah. Josh, here's some discussion points for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with your family.
Do you think anybody needs to give me discussion points?
Families can talk about role models in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and how they represent teamwork and courage. Why are those important character strengths?
What kind of fucking idiot needs those tips? Jesus Christ.
Here's a good one. Are all movies inspired by comic books created equal? Why do some stand out? And then the last one, Josh, which I think the one that you'll take, and we're going to go to Josh's face to see the reaction to this. What did you think of the soundtrack of Volume 2? Does the movie make you interested in music from the 60s and 70s?
Below me.
All right, so on that note, we ran long, so we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for watching May. We'll be back in June, right?
I don't know what to talk to my kids about. I better consult this website for fucking discussion points.
I would like to point that at the bottom of this website, there is a banner for hashtag device-free dinner, because dinner is for laughing, not texting. Challenge your family.
A lot of yelling at dinner. I know that.
All right, until next time, I'm Ron.
I'm Connor.
I'm Josh. Have fun with your next podcast, boys.